In my hands, I hold the new Seint launches that are getting ready to come out on September 22nd, and prepare to have your minds blown because these launches are everything that I have been hoping for and then some. So let's get right into it. Just came back from Seint's artist reunion, which is something that they do every single year where all of these Seint artist affiliates get together. This year was one of the best ones yet, where we had a day full of training and speakers. This year we actually got to socialize and get to know other Seint artists a lot more than years before, which I absolutely loved. I actually tried vlogging the whole experience, but I'm one of those people that I just live in the moment, so it's really hard for me to actually sit down and vlog something. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the new launches and you want to learn everything that you need to know about them, and I am going to spill the tea on everything. If you want to be the first to know when these launches come out, I also have my All Things Beautiful newsletter linked down below for you as well. Every single week I usually do a weekly newsletter giving you some updates on beauty tips and tricks, self-care tips, some of my favorite recipes, and just giving you insights and behind the scenes into my life and my business. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe to that down below. Let's get right into it. The very first thing, these are called the throwback. For this artist reunion, we had different breakout sessions, and in each breakout session, they taught us about the new products, how to use them, how to incorporate them. Depending on which ticket you got, you either got like a sampling of the new launches or you got everything. I personally am one of those people that I'm like, go big or go home, and it is a business write-off. So I definitely splurged for the all-in. We have a new brush that I'm really excited to share with you, and that's why I don't have any makeup on, so that I can show you how to use that. We also have a throwback palette. So this was one of the super popular palettes back when Seint used to actually be called Mascara Beauty. And when it was a direct sales company, now it's an enhanced affiliate company. You can become an affiliate and earn commissions off of sales, but there is no team building or anything like that. I absolutely love, because honestly, for me, it's always been about the product and about my customers. But how stunning is this palette? It's gonna come in all the different sizes, and it says Seint on it in beautiful gold lettering. This is what it looks like when you open the inside. It also says Seint there as well. I just love all the little attention to details. This is a palette 12, so it holds 12 large tins or 24 eyeshadow tins. So I'm probably going to be filling that one up. They are bringing back two of the most popular palettes that my customers were always asking for after they ended up selling out. Every time they launched new collections, they would come out with a bunch of different palettes, but now they're just picking like a signature one. So this was part of their collection 2 summers ago. This was this checkerboard collection that was absolutely stunning, and I have this like literally in every single size. I love the black and white. So this is a mini palette that holds either 2 large tins or 4 eyeshadow tins. So you're going to be able to get this in both the checkerboard black and white or the beige and white, and then you'll be able to get all of the other size palettes in both of these prints as well. Let me tell you about this brush. So this was a brush that I actually got as a reward for selling a certain amount of makeup in the summer. So this is called the Pilot brush. So it looks like one of my favorite brushes called the 3D brush, but as you can see, it is a little bit skinnier because this brush actually comes apart. So you have an eyeshadow brush and a little concealer brush, pencil brush on the other side, which is super cool for travel. And when this brush was released to as an exclusive to artists, a lot of customers really wanted to see this. So Seint brought it back in their gorgeous black, which is a color that people have been begging for. And these were some of my favorite brushes. I just love the material of them because they're a little bit softer than the synthetic brushes. So it's just a little bit of a softer material. So you're going to get the same exact brush that comes apart. You have a fluffy eyeshadow side on one end and a little pencil side on the other end, or you can also use to spot conceal, which we're gonna do with that little pimple that I definitely picked at in my time in Nashville. But I love the 3D brush. It has always been my favorite brush. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use this. Here we have the Pilot brush. Again, this fluffy side I like to use for like contour, my bronzer, my blush. And it is a little bit softer. So I do find that you had to pick up a little bit more product than with the brushes that are currently in the collection. So just keep that in mind. That definitely is going to give a little bit of a softer look. So while the regular 3D brush gives a medium coverage, I'd say that this probably gives more of a light to medium coverage that can definitely be buildable. But you can see how everything is just applying like butter. It is so soft. I really can't wait till you feel this brush. Put a little bit of some concealer because my under eye circles are looking rough. I will tell you one thing about traveling. I always come back so tired no matter if I sleep in or not. And obviously life still goes on. So we have things to do. I'm gonna cover this up a little bit with the pointy side so that you can see the coverage that you get. But then I'm going to use that same pointy side to spot conceal in a second. But you can see how this is applying just like normal and the brush is not falling apart. And I will say, if you are someone who has used a 3D brush before in the past and found that the pointy side was a little too stiff, this one is a little bit rounder of a tip, so it's not quite as pointy. And again, because of the material of it, it is definitely a lot softer, and I find that it's just a little easier to use. Also, side note, do you see the fact that these tins have hit pan right here? This is how I traveled to Nashville, and I was concerned that I was going to run out of makeup. But when I tell you that this cream makeup lasts forever and a day, it truly does. You don't need very much. A little bit goes such a long way. And once those tins start hitting pan, you can actually melt them down. I share all of those type of tips in my Facebook beauty group. So if that's something that you're interested in, check it out down below. Whether you are a customer from Seint, or maybe you're interested in trying out Seint, maybe you're one of my customers, the Facebook beauty group is definitely the place where you're going to get all of the details on new launches, tips and tricks on how to use your makeup, and just more behind the scenes information. So you can see that blended out so beautifully. Definitely I'm starting to lose my tan, so I probably am going to need to change my shade. But you can definitely use these taken apart too if you wanted to. So it's totally up to you, however works best for you, especially when you're traveling. But for me, I just do the face first, the other side next. So as you can see, I'm going to use the little pencil side to add a little extra coverage, and look at how that literally covered up that little spot right there. And you can even use these brushes for powder products like the Feather Dust, which is one of my favorites. I'm going to just use that same exact brush. I had a question about using the same brush for multiple areas of your face. And honestly, if you're not using too much, I don't find that the makeup gets muddy or anything like that. And you want to be strategic. Start with your creams first, your powders last, so that way things don't get cakey. So I'm just setting my face with my Feather Dust and the fluffy side of the Pilot brush so that you can see that. I'm not going to do too much with the eyeshadows because of one of the other launches, but I do want to just show you how this works. So it definitely is a smaller version of the eyeshadow brush. I'd say that it's my favorite because I don't like the flatness of it. So I would probably, personally, I wouldn't really use this for eyeshadow, but when I'm on the go and stuff like that, definitely I could see this being really great. I know a lot of people do love this, but it is so tiny. So as someone who has larger eyes, probably is not going to be the best brush for you. You can definitely make it work, but if you have smaller eyes, you're going to probably love this. And again, you have that little pointy side right there that you can just use to apply your shimmers in the inner corner of the eyes, whatever you want to do. If you want to put it on the eyelids for a softer effect. Again, I like to use it for my concealer right here. I'm going to definitely use it underneath my eyes to just help cover up those bags a little more because we are looking a little rough. But there we have the Pilot brush. Another launch that I'm really excited for. It's been such a long time coming with Seint. This is a pH adjusting lip flush. So this is in the shade Blackberry. Wait till you see this shade. Hold on, if I can get it open. Sometimes these tins get a little jammed in there. She's literally looks black. Reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty black blush that came out not too long ago. What's really cool about this, in comparison to a lot of pH adjusting products, they usually just tend to pull red, really pink, but this one, because of the depth of it and because of the pH level of it, it will actually turn more into like a berry tone. And depending on your undertone, it might turn more purpley or it might turn more pink. So it definitely is one of those colors that does look different on everybody. Here's a couple examples of some of the Seint models with two totally different skin tones, and you can see what it looks like on them. I'm going to show you what it looks like on me. I'm going to pick up a little bit of it on the Pilot brush. So it definitely is very sheer, very light. I'll say that it's even lighter than the gloss is. It's not quite as sticky as the gloss formulas. And you can see that it is just like a sheer little wash of purple on me. But then as I let it sit, it starts turning into a really pretty rosy shade. Here, this is Blackberry this is Blackberry, and this is without Blackberry. So you can definitely see the difference. And then on my lips, I'm gonna just grab a little bit with my finger and just tap that on. And this gives the most perfect deepened flushed look. It definitely is great for, I know, makeup girlies. If you just want a natural flush, maybe the perfect blush for your skin tone that gives a little tiny bit of a glow. Again, it's very thin, so it's not sticky like the gloss formulas. And it has a very soft, I can't even describe it, like a soft floral scent to it. I don't know. A clean scent for sure. Let's go ahead and do the other side so you can see. This is with it. Now let's do this side here. You can watch the magic happen. Look at that, so pretty. You can build her up, and when you build it up, it does get a little deeper. You can also apply it with your fingers too if you wanted to. But as soon as it feels that warmth of your skin and the pH levels of your skin and oils and all that stuff, it'll transform into the perfect shade of flush. So the next product, this is a product that I'm really curious on what your thoughts are on this one. This is called a lip balm, but this is a transformative lip balm. So you can turn any lip color into a beautiful iridescent shade. You can also use this on the cheeks as well. So when you see it, it comes in this tin right here, and it looks like it's plain white, but it's actually like this really pretty iridescent pink shade. Has a very soft hint of a peach to it, and you do want to get in there and really pick up quite a bit of product. I'm gonna put it on my lips just on the one side so you can see the difference between the two. The formula of this is really nice. It's really hydrating. It's a little thinner than the Lip Whip. So if you've tried the new Seint Lip Whip, which is their lip balm in a tube, which is one of my favorites. I love using that at nighttime especially. But it's a little thinner than this. It's not sticky, and it gives more of an iridescent glow. It gives more of an iridescent glow to the lips, so it is going to transform it just a little bit compared to nothing on there. You can also use this on the face as well as a little bit of a natural illuminator. I will say when you have nails like this, it is harder to get in there. So that is probably one of my biggest complaints with this product, but I do love the beautiful glow that it gives. And I love the fact that I can put it on top of my cheekbones and give me a nice little flushed finish right there. You can also use it on the eyes too as an eyeshadow topper underneath to emoliate like a shimmer and make it more intense. So definitely has a lot of different purposes. Again, I'm really curious what your thoughts are. I will tell you it's super duper hydrating. I think it's a little bit creamier than the current balm that Seint has in their collection. My only gripe with this is I do wish that it was in a tin, because I do prefer products like this in a tin formula or in a squeeze tube formula. So that and the fact that I can't stick my fingers in here are two of my biggest gripes. But it does have shea butter in it, olive oil, coconut oil, and candela wax. And it has a really great smell to it too. So again, let me know what your thoughts are. Is this something that you are interested in? Is this something that you're looking forward to trying out? And that goes for all of the other products too. I definitely want to hear your feedback on everything, but we're going to get into the really exciting stuff. I don't know which one I want to do first. I think I'm going to do this bag first. This is called the Lip Gelatos. So this reminds me of a very super popular product that two different brands have. MAC was the first that I saw make it, and then Makeup by Mario made theirs. These are the plumping lip serums is what Makeup by Mario called it, but basically they're gloss sticks. So Seint came out with their own version and calling them gelato. There's 9 different shades. They're stunning. I swatched them right here. The biggest thing that I would tell you about swatches is that this is on my skin tone. I have more neutral, cool undertones, and I'm obviously brown. So if you are lighter skin, darker skin, it may look a little bit different for sure. But what I can tell you based off of first impressions and playing around with them a little bit, these are definitely very versatile and I think are gonna work on so many people. So I'm not gonna talk too much about the colors. Instead, I'm gonna just share swatches with you and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So let's get into the swatches, shall we? obviously know which ones are my favorites, but let me know down below which ones are you loving. I can already foresee these two being the best sellers. This is Dulce and Coco Moreau, I think is how you pronounce it. Not 100% sure, but they're absolutely gorgeous. What I love about this formula is, one, it is a lot thicker than the other gloss sticks that I've tried before in the past, and it is a lot more color payoff. And when you wear them, it does leave a little bit of a stain. As you can see, I still have a little staining left. So it's not like the lip tint that the lip tints instantly give you a stain. These, it's more like it just leaves, it fades into a really pretty color. I wore the shade Raspberry for 8 hours and didn't do any touch-ups, and you can see how that one faded in really nicely and just left a little nice wash. But it did leave my lips feeling hydrated all day long, which I loved. A couple of pro tips when using these: you don't want to click too much. I would start with 1 or 2 clicks. Since I'm used to these type of products, I feel comfortable doing the clicks pretty fast because I know I'm not going to shoot up too much product. I want to pay attention to how much product is coming up from the little spout right there, because you cannot roll them back down, so they're not retractable. Like I said, these are like that glossy formula. So because of the glossiness of it, trying to retract it back down is going to just squish everything together. So that's why you can't retract it. Also, when it comes to the more pigmented colors, I recommend tapping the color on like this and pressing them into your lips so that you get like a nice little wash. Because like I said, the more darker colors are definitely more pigmented, has a lot more color payoff. So if you want bold and beautiful, definitely go for it. This is the shade Melon. I really like Melon. It reminds me a lot of Venice. And if you wanted to use these on the cheeks, you definitely could. It's just going to give more of that sticky formula. So think of this like the Seint gloss tins, but in a stick, so it's a little easier to use. Also, have fun with them. Like this shade Cotton Candy, I know she looks really intense and crazy, and again, when we think of the word cotton candy when it comes to Seint, if you know that there was a lip and cheek called Cotton Candy that was so terrible on everybody, but this is something that you can actually mix in to a more bolder shade. So if you accidentally get something that's a little too bold, or you want to create your own custom lip, you can actually mix it in to a bolder shade and it'll help to tone it down or make it more vibrant. This is making it more of that like bubblegum pink, but it's still really toned down. And the great thing too, I personally never wear lip products without lip liner, especially if I'm doing a full face of makeup. If it's like a minimal no makeup look, maybe I might do it without lip liner, but for the most part, I'm a lip liner snob, so I always line my lips first, and that's going to help the color wear longer and also help to give you a new shade. So these are definitely going to be a lot of fun. Make this even more sheer. Just take a little tissue, blot off the excess, and that's going to give you a little wash of color that's going to wear really nicely. This is what the tint, or sorry, what the lip product leaves behind from my experience of using them. And again, definitely the lighter shades, you're probably not going to get as much of that tint shade as much of the darker shades. This is so much easier for me to touch up my lips with than this. And personally, I never used the lip and cheek shades as lip products. I've always used other lip products. As you can see, I am a lip product snob. So definitely, when I tell you I know a thing or two, I know a thing or two about these. And I'm excited for them to release more shades for sure in the future. Speaking of lip liners, Seint is coming out with something that I literally cried when they launched this. So it is pencils, and there are 2 different formulas. So there is a silk formula and a satin formula. The satin formula, the colors are more of your traditional lip liner shades. So more of the like reds, the browns, the pinks, like those type of shades. While the silks are more of your typical eyeliner and light crayon shades. But what's great about both of these is that you can use them on any part of your face, because Seint just always outdoes themselves. They truly do. They put the 2 different products in different packaging. The silks come in the shinier box and the satins come in this box here. Another thing too, the silks are gonna be your long wear pencils. So these, when I tell you, I could not get them off my hands after swatching them. They have, I'd say, a 30-second to a minute dry time, play time. So definitely you wanna move pretty quickly with these. While the silks, they do wear pretty well, but they're not long wearing. I would give them maybe 2 to 4 hour wear, depending on what you're doing, where you're putting them. They probably need to be set if you're putting them somewhere on the eyes or on the face, because think of this basically cream makeup in a stick form, while this is long wear, so you don't really need to do anything to them. So again, I am going to swatch all of them, but I have a couple of swatches on my arms too, so that you can see what they look like in case if that's something that's better for you. But let's go ahead and do the lip swatches. have the swatches of all of the different pencils. I'm going to be sharing with you more combinations and stuff like that I'm really loving from both of the different lines. So the satins are going to be a little bit more of your traditional lip liner shades. All of them are going to look really great on the lips, and you can apply them all over as a lip color as well, but you can use these on the eyes too. For example, Pepper, I personally don't like this one on my lips as much because she is very cool tone, but on my eyes, look at how gorgeous this is. It is a little bit more of a waxier feel. I find almost like has a grippy feeling to it compared to the other pencil formulas. Like I said, this is definitely something that you're going to want to set. I would set it with either a coordinating eyeshadow or a loose setting powder, but look at how stunning that is as an eye color. And just because this color doesn't necessarily work for me on my lips as a lip liner doesn't mean it's not going to work on you. The thing that I really like to use this one for too as well is to do a little bit of a lip contour moment. So I'm applying it underneath where my natural lip line is and above where my natural lip line is, create a poutier lip effect. And you can also use it to contour your nose. So if you struggle with precision application of makeup, look at how easily that blends in. And this is applying it on top of my already existing makeup. I do love the fact that all of the different shades are written on the actual pencil, but then you also have that shade at the top too, so it's easier for you to find. You will notice that these are retractable, and it does come with quite a bit of product, so definitely will last you a really long time. When the tip starts getting kind of dull, what you're gonna wanna do is take it into some kind of tissue, napkin, whatever, and just hold it in there kind of at an angle, and then you're gonna wanna wrap it around and just twist, and that's gonna help to sharpen that point back up for you so that you have a nice line. I use the tip of it to apply as a liner, and then I'll use the side of it for larger areas like the eyelid, if I'm doing cheek contour, whatever the case may be. Definitely with these, you can mix and match. That's one of my favorite things to do. For example, a shade that I think is really pretty, but I would need a brown lip liner to go with it, is Toasted. So I'm gonna show you a quick little combo that I really like. We have already Pepper as our contour. I'm gonna do Brownie as a lip liner, and you can see how it glides on so easily. But again, it kind of feels grippy is the best way that I could describe it. And it does wear pretty well, but definitely, as you can see, when I use my finger, it rubs off pretty easily if you don't set it. So you want to make sure you do set it. So that is Brownie, and then I'm taking Toasted and just putting that right on top. I'm gonna blend it out with my fingers and just grab a little bit of the balm. And now I've created my own custom little lip, and it will wear really well throughout the day. I will say on the lips, you don't necessarily need to set, but what I recommend doing, a little pro tip for you to make it wear a little longer, is taking some loose setting powder, apply that on the lips first. This is why it needs to be translucent. Satin pencil, apply that on top. And you may notice that it might not glide on as smoothly as it does on bare lips, but it's gonna help to grip it a little bit more. And then go in one more time, and then we're setting the satin lip pencil, and see how there's no transfer. So if you want them to wear longer, just do that double setting technique, and then you can put your lip product on top and it will help it wear a little bit longer, similar to the silks. So let's talk about the silks, because they did not look great on my lips all over, because again, it's a different formula. This, it feels more like a lipstick, but like a grippier lipstick, a super creamy lipstick. It's not a creamy feel in the sense of it just glides really easily. It does grip a little bit, but it's not like it's hard to use. I don't know how to describe it. You just have to try it for yourself. Silk pencils. These are super long wear, and they are so silky at application. Literally glides on without any pressure. This is the shade Caramel. So I do prefer these for sure on the eyes and on the face. So you can easily just apply that all over the eyelid. Now I will say on the eyelid, I do think that the satins do apply a little bit easier. And again, because these are long wear, you have to work with them really quick. So I just like to take my finger and tap, but what's great is they're self-setting, so you don't have to set anything. My recommendation, taking a little bit of a translucent powder just to get rid of any excess oil that might be on the eyelid, and then grab whichever pencil you want. I'm gonna grab a darker one. This one is called Cappuccino, and this is such a pretty cool toned brown shade that you can even use it as eyeliner or to tightline the eyes. So there we have it as an eyeliner, which is a really pretty smudgy, smoky effect. But then I'm gonna put this on the eyelid, and I find that it glides on a lot easier when you have that matte base, and then you can easily blend that out. And look at how simple that was. And it literally will not go anywhere after a minute. That color is going to last. Now, you can use these as lip liners. I have a couple shades that I like as lip liners. Obviously, it's all up to preference at the end of the day. If you wanted Pepper to be a little bit darker, Cappuccino is that darker version. It's a little bit of a gray mauve shade. There is one shade that does have a shimmer. It's called Latte. And you can use it as lip liner too if you wanted to, which I did show you what that looks like. But you can put this on top and it has like a little hint of shimmer. Now I like to just tap. I find that if you swipe, it'll definitely get patchy looking. You can pair them on top of each other, wear them alone, use them with the powder eyeshadows. However your little heart desires, definitely feel free to play around and create different looks. And you can even use these as brow products. I'm going to show you how I would do that. You want to be very gentle with your hand. I would even recommend using a brush, but I'm going to show you how I would use it if you were not, because they are just a bigger applicator. So I'm going in with a shade called Espresso. So we're going to just brush our brows. Because of the size of the applicator, it's not the best to fill in the brows. I get it. You don't really have brows. You're like, oh, this would be so easy for me to just like draw on my brows. But these colors, especially the darker ones, they're really creamy. So you need the softest hand. I'm barely even pressing down on that so that I can fill it in. But again, what I would recommend is just taking a little bit on your line brush. And that way you have a little more precision and you're able to fill in the spaces. And again, what's great about this is if you struggled with like cream contours, maybe not holding well, if you struggle with your brows not lasting, maybe sweating off, this is going to be incredible. And at first you can definitely move it a little bit, but once it dries down, you can already see it starting to dry down. So you don't have a whole bunch of playtime with these, which is probably a con in the sense of if you're a beginner, you want to have that playtime. You can definitely just practice. Now to remove the silks, the satins, you can remove it with any makeup remover, but the silk, you want to use a dual phased oil makeup remover. If you do not, you're gonna have a bad time. I tried using a makeup wipe and it literally did nothing, but this has that oil, which again, the oil is gonna help to break it down. Watch this. So this is set already. Nothing is coming off my finger, but then using the oil comes off so easily. It's not tugging on my skin. It's not dragging on my skin, keeping everything nice and clean. And you can use, if you're washing your face at night, you can totally use a makeup cleansing oil and it'll help to break it down. Just really really work it into wherever you have silk. And then you want to make sure that you wet it with warm water, emulsify it so that it kind of turns into this milky consistency before rinsing it off and then washing with a regular cleanser. One of my favorites for lip liner, which you can use these as lip liner. I prefer it as lip liner. I wouldn't put it all over the lips. This one is called Cinnamon. I'm obsessed with this. This is the perfect reddish brown. So it's a little bit warmer than Espresso. And look at how it glides on my lips like butter. And what I would do is every section, I would just blend it out with my finger if you want a more blended look. And again, since these are self-setting, you do not have to set them down. They will not transfer onto the lips or anything. I do find that they wear really well. Now, if you're eating anything oily, that's what breaks this down, is oil. So you do want to keep that in mind, and you can build them up too. So I'm making it a little darker right now. And again, once it starts dulling down a little bit, you just want to roll it up some, grab your tissue and just swirl to create more of a point again. And always make sure to roll them down before you apply, before you put the lid back on. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of Dulce Lip Gelato. Look at this combo. It is so pretty. Let me do a little eyeliner real quick. So again, you can tightline with these. This is the black shade. To tightline, you just want to hold it at the top. Be careful not to go onto your eyelid. Look at the difference. It just helps to make the lashes look a little fuller. They're so creamy. And feel free to use your brushes if you need to. The Etch brush is a great one for this. And I can even use them as wing eyeliner. Just being really short with it, right? Take my fingernail and look at that. How I'm able to create that perfect little wing. So it's gonna be a little thick. Then you can take your finger. You wanna do this quickly while it's still soft. And you can create your little wing to go ahead and apply that. So if you're someone who found that maybe Black Friday eyeliner like lasting long on you, even if you set it with powder or anything like that, you absolutely need to check these out. There we have the new Seint collection, the new Seint launches that are coming on September 22nd at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So make sure you set your alarms, make sure that you subscribe to my newsletter below because I'll be sending an email at that exact time so that you have your shopping link ready, you have swatches ready, different combinations, all of the details that you need to know about every single product will be listed in that email for you so that you feel confident. And I'll also be sharing details in my Facebook beauty group. Let me know what your thoughts are on these launches. Is there a specific product that you're excited for? Is there something that you wish that they would have released? And just stay tuned because there are other launches coming up. Holiday still hasn't dropped. This is not even the holiday collection. This is just an addition to the regular line. All of the details again listed down below. If you need an updated color match, I have that listed down below as well. Be sure to send this to a friend who is looking for some new and innovative makeup products that are going to help them to elevate their makeup routine for the fall and give them a nice and youthful finish. As always, make sure you like this video, let me know your thoughts down below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any other new videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one.